Hi, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This is a self care class. Why is forgiveness considered self care? Well, we're going to talk about that. Forgiveness is a really hard topic. If you're here, I bet you're trying to figure out how you can get rid of it, or even if it's possible to get rid of that terrible, all consuming feeling which has taken root in your heart. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're saying to yourself, there is no way I can ever forgive that person for, or I am never going to be able to forgive myself. These are strong words created by strong emotional impacts. And that's okay. That just means you might not be ready to forgive yet. But I'm still glad you're here. Stay with us. Maybe you'll find some hope here. Historically speaking, within Christianity and many other religions, forgiveness has been touted as only for the wicked, it being something one needs to ask for when one has done something wrong. You sinned, therefore, you must repent. You must ask forgiveness. You may be told that forgiveness is a requirement, and depending upon your beliefs, that may be so. But the caveat is that just because you feel it is something that you have to do, it may not be something you're ready to do. But forgiveness is not for the bad or the one who needs to repent only. It is for the person who has been wronged, the person who's been hurt. It is help for the person who's been hurt. It gives that person the ability to let go of something that someone else did to them, or a feeling or emotion which someone else created in your life, which you want to be able to let go of. You can't force forgiveness. It will come and should come only when you are ready. Sometimes it takes only a moment to be able to forgive. Think of a child who takes a toy away from another child, causing an uproar, only to find the same two children playing happily a minute later, as if nothing happened. But this class is not focusing on that type of forgiveness. No, uh, we're going to focus on the type of forgiveness that takes focused energy and effort to forgive. Sometimes it might take you years, and sometimes it might take you a few days. But it can come if you're willing to put forth the effort and seek out your own strength to heal. Some of us will have to go through processes of grief, anger, depending on what kind of issues you're dealing with. You may need to seek out professional help to deal with other types of mental health issues due to severity of the offense. And some of us will just need time to process and go through the steps of forgiveness. No, I will not forgive them. I can't do it. I won't do it. They don't deserve my forgiveness. Have you ever said those things or thought those things? When you choose not to forgive, you are usually the only one being hurt. Let me say that again. When you choose not to forgive, you are the only one who is being hurt. Why? Many times, the person who created the unwanted feelings or hurt you is not even aware that there's a problem. Oftentimes, the person who did the hurting, the offender, doesn't care when they know that they hurt you or offended you. Holding on to that pain and hurt will create poisoning of your heart, mind, and soul. It can wreak long-term havoc on your psychological and physical well-being. The longer you hold on to that pain and anger, the hotter the fire gets. The more you feed it, the bigger it gets, until it eventually consumes you. Psychology Today states that forgiveness can bring about lower stress hormones, strengthen the immune system, lower blood pressure, and reduce gastrointestinal and other body pains. One of the best gifts you can give yourself is to forgive yourself or someone else. So, how can I do that? What are the steps? There's many different ways to go about this, and many different opinions on which way is the best. But let's look at the steps here, starting at the bottom, starting with acknowledging the hurt. And we're going to work our way up through these steps. Each of these steps can happen in order. Sometimes they need to happen out of order. Sometimes they need to be repeated. Sometimes you stay longer on one step than the others. And know that the time it takes you to get through these steps is going to vary from person to person and also from situation to situation. Ask yourself, what is it that makes what happened not okay? So and so did this to me and now I feel, or someone lied to me or lied to somebody else and now I feel, or this person struck me, or someone touched me without my permission and now I feel violated. The situations go on and on. But once you determine why you feel wronged, you need to find one or a few trusted people to talk to. Get it all out, whether that's yelling, crying, getting physical in a healthy way, or quietly working through your thoughts and feelings. Try not to turn to food for comfort. That's a whole other problem that you can create. Whatever you choose to do, make sure you take the time, process, and get it all out. Make sure you do this with a trusted person or people because you want to feel protected while you go through this first really important step. Ask yourself, what do I need to do to feel better about this? Take the time to consider how you feel about what happened. How is it affecting you? Are you in need of a mental health professional? Consider your mental and physical well-being. If you're a planner, make a plan and talk that plan over with someone if you need to. Maybe you just go with the flow and take your feelings day by day. Ask yourself, how has the pain changed you? How detrimental was the person's offense to your life or someone else's? Then ask yourself, what does forgiveness mean to me? You cannot change the past, no matter how much you want to, no matter how much you dwell on it, no matter how much you stew in anger about it. It's not going to change. So acceptance of what happened is a necessary reality because your anger will not redeem the person from what they did, no matter how angry you get. So now you need to decide if you are going to forgive. Once you make that decision, you will either start your journey to forgiveness or this process will end. Please take extremely careful consideration here, as this is going to impact your relationship with this person and perhaps others around you, as well as, and maybe even more important, your physical and emotional health. We will discuss this more shortly, but know that forgiving a person does not mean you have to maintain a future relationship with the person who did the offending. And you can always come back to this space once you are in a place where you might consider yourself ready to forgive. One more time. Forgiving a person does not mean You have to maintain a future relationship with the person who did the offending. Ultimately, what you are after is inner peace. To find that, you will have to forgive, which means you will need to find a way to start to repair yourself and or the relationship. Maybe you take time to do some self-care first and start to heal what's been hurt. Then you may consider focusing on the relationship if that's your goal. There's many ways to do this, but I'm just going to list off a few here. You can find a therapist or seek out another mental health professional. You can find a wellness coach, someone like myself who can help you on your way. Sometimes prescription drugs may be helpful to you, and you'll need to find a psychiatrist to do that. Sometimes your regular primary care physician can help with these things as well. Meditation, reflection are great ways to start self-care about this. Seek uplifting and hopeful advice from a religious guide, leader, or a spiritual guide. Forgiveness comes in many forms. Sometimes it is a verbal confirmation. Sometimes it is a quiet and inner solidification which happens simply inside your mind or soul. If you feel compelled to have a person-to-person conversation, whether you are the offender or the person who has been hurt, be prepared for the other person to not reciprocate. But remember that whether you are the offender or the person who has been hurt, the person's reaction is not important, but that you have found a way to let go and move on. That's what's important. You can choose to forgive even if you're not ready. You can choose this every day, even knowing you have to go through steps to heal yourself. You're going to feel pain and hurt for some time. If you repeat and repeat this sort of a mantra, I can forgive, I'm going to forgive, I will forgive, I forgive, then it will finally come. It can be an act of faith or a trial of strength. You may view it as a way to make yourself stronger. As quoted from Friedrich Nietzsche's Twilight of the Idols, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But you have to take that strength and turn it into something great. And that greatness is forgiveness. To forgive is a cognitive action one must take. It takes willpower and physical effort. Just because someone asks you for your forgiveness does not mean you are able or willing to accept that request at that moment. Forgiveness does not necessarily mean reconciliation with the person that hurt you or condoning their action. But instead, it is an action you willingly choose in order to allow yourself to let go of the emotional damage which was caused. If you are the offender, it will take great courage to ask for forgiveness. So if you have taken the time to understand the damage you have created and are asking with pure intent to make restitution, then use that courage to ask for forgiveness. But do so only if you understand that your request may not be accepted. You must accept the refusal with grace. Understand that you do not require the offended person's forgiveness in order to forgive yourself. Again, you must accept the refusal with grace and understand that you do not require the offended person's forgiveness in order to forgive yourself. Now, on the other side of that, if you are the person who has been offended, who has been hurt, and a request of forgiveness has been made in good faith and with thoughtful effort on the part of the person who offended you, take the request with grace. Though you nor anyone is obligated to forgive unwillingly, it's important to consider the courage it takes for someone to ask for it. It is always up to you to extend that grace or not. If you remember anything from this class, it's this: forgiveness is not acceptance of the offense, but letting go of the pain it created. Keeping in mind that it may take a long time to let go of the pain and hurt, but that's okay. Why? Why is forgiveness the best revenge? Because once you give up your anger, your hurt, your pain, the person who did the hurt can no longer control you. They have no more control over your emotions anymore. You are free from the strangulation of the pain, hurt, and emotional anguish which once plagued you. If you like this class, please join me for more. You'll find more classes and products, resources, all kinds of things on unshamed.co. If you're ready to make changes in your own life, need a life and wellness coach, you found one. I'm here. I can coach you along, and I am ready when you are. Go to my blog and click in the coaching tab for a free consultation. Make sure to reference my resources pages on my blog. Go to my homepage at unshamed.co and you will see one for mental health, self-care, and healthy living. Here you're going to find offers both fun and helpful. You can also find me on these other social media sites, and feel free to email me with any questions you might have at unshamed.co@gmail.com. Your support and subscribing helps me to be able to continue to provide these free classes to you. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kathleen Ann Unshamed, so I can continue helping everyone around us. Here's the sources. Feel free to reference these at any time if you want more information on what we talked about today.